everybody, welcome to Claretian Youth Family Time. And here you can see in the back, maybe you can pay attention, you see like a little yellow dot and also like a blue dot right there. Those are my parakeets. The blue one, it's called Jelly, that's the female, and the yellow one is Pickles, that's the male. And this is my room here at the rectory at St. Paul Catholic Newman Center. A couple of weeks ago we got together for Claretian Youth and we talked about the Gospel of Mark chapter 9 verses 14 through the 27, and we were talking about how Jesus healed this boy who was possessed by an impure spirit. We don't know what kind of a spirit this was, but we know that this spirit will toss this little boy, this teenager, into fire, into water, into pain, and his father didn't know how to help him. So he runs to Jesus and says, Jesus, please help my son. And Jesus says, well, bring the boy. And after Jesus prays over him, he releases, he takes out whatever spirit or illness that was possessing the little boy. But as it happens, the boy gets like really thrown into the floor, and everybody believes that he is dead. And in fact, everybody says to Jesus, oh my gosh, he is dead. And Jesus says, no, he's not dead. And he picks up the boy's hand and just lifts him up. And the boy just gets up, and goes back to his normal life. When we got together with the youth group, we actually tried to expose the youth, to the things that this little boy was experiencing when he was possessed by this evil spirit. You had to walk in the darkness, you had these bandanas around your eyes, so you had to like hold on to the rope and just be led to places, and then you heard like weird sounds, and then you got some water sprinkled onto you, and then you had like some fire, like the heater that was there to kind of show you some heat. But then you were led into the chapel, and at the chapel, as soon as you took off your blindfold, you had an encounter with Jesus in the Blessed Eucharist in adoration. So that was the game and the experience that we wanted you to have, that sometimes, we can be blinded, sometimes there are things that come in our way and just we have no control over them, it might seem, but still God is always there to meet us right there and to help us out. And whenever everybody else might think that we are dead to the world, not to Jesus. After the game, Joe gave us a reflection about the power of community. Even though we were walking blindfolded and feeling all these things, somehow we felt supported that we had some people walking along with us. So Joe was talking about like how important it is to have like key people in your life. People who will love you and be by your side for who you are. And youth, to me, that is your parents, even though they might drive you crazy. And to you parents, it might be your kids, even though they might drive you crazy. That's the power of community, for good and for bad, but we are together in this. After that reflection, we came out to the circle again and we had our mass, our youth mass. And at mass, Lupita shared a reflection of her own testimony of how sometimes in life, we can be possessed not necessarily by an evil spirit, but we can be possessed by addictions, by resentment, by anger, by fear, by low self-esteem, by maybe things that bad people around us, inflict upon us. But she mentioned something very important. She said, like the key to overcome these things and to make sure that Jesus helps us is prayer. Prayer. And Lupita actually pushed out, the Bible reflection, and she says, right after Jesus heals this boy, Jesus mentions this kind of events, are always resolved by deeper prayer. And now let's hear what two people have to say about this gospel. We're gonna hear from Tati, T-A-T-I, from Atlanta, Georgia. She will share her take on this gospel, and also we will hear from the other side of the country in New York from Father Frank. He is a missionary of the Sacred Heart, and he has what he has to say about this gospel.
In the passage you selected, there are a number of things that stood out. One, obviously, is the belief and doubt and faith. And then also the communal aspect. The Father asks if you can do anything, have compassion on us, and help us. It didn't say have compassion on his Son, but he said us. And then it was interesting how Jesus says, if you can, with an exclamation point. That lack of belief, if you can do anything, if he's been this way for a number of years. But even then, he has that prayer that, help my unbelief. I believe, but help me if I'm lacking. And I think, sometimes we turn to Christ, we turn to God in prayer to help us within whatever we go through. And we have that faith that God is there with us always to help us and to help us within life. Hey, nice to be with you all. God bless.
Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Tatiana Hernandez and I'm from Conjure, small city in this urban area of Atlanta, Georgia. And we here today, I'm coming to talk about the Gospel of Mark, chapter 9, verses 14 to 27. As we hear in the Bible and the Gospel, there's a father desperate for the healing of his son, of these that he doesn't know. He doesn't know, he doesn't understand. He knows about Jesus and he knows about his disciples. He rushed around the city to look for him. The disciples comes and try to help this poor man. But then Jesus comes and look for him and said, why is your faith so poor? How much I have to stay here with you? And this father asks and prays and cries to Jesus for the healing of his son. And Jesus said, if you have faith, everything's possible. Everything's possible. So, what is faith? Do you know what faith is? That's gonna be a homework for you guys, to find your faith. But what I know is that faith, they feel it, they don't see it. You see the air outside, you can't see it, but you feel it. That's what faith is. And whenever you have the faith, it's in your heart, in your mind, in your soul. I encourage you guys to have faith every day. And like this father, this desperate father asks Jesus for help. I ask you to ask Jesus for faith. Especially what's going on in this pandemic. What's going on nowadays in this life. It's never too late to ask faith. So I don't know how old you are, where you from, what's your situation. We all go through stuff like that. And I just want to let you know that whenever you're down, whenever you're happy, whenever you're sad, when somebody's gone, ask God for faith. Because I know, and I know for sure, that He's never going to leave you alone. Doesn't matter if you're sick, you're okay, you're happy. He's always going to be with you. Believe me. Believe in yourself that God is always by your side. So please, I encourage you, only take 2 minutes to ask God for faith. For that strength your faith and give you courage for all the things that are coming in your life. Could be tests in school, could be problems at home, but your health, your faith is gonna make you go through all of that without a doubt. And never forget that God is always gonna be by your side. So Let's be like that father in the gospel that asked God, please help me gain my faith, or help me strengthen my faith. And I encourage you to always give a minute or two to God in prayer. Talk to Him and let Him be your counselor. Let Him be your guide, because He's gonna be there with you in your heart. So thank you guys, and I encourage you the best and give hope for have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you.
Good stuff, right? Now it's your turn to talk to each other. And why don't you talk about the following question for the family time this time? Time. Oh my God. The question is this: what do I need to be healed of? What do I need to be healed from? So I'm gonna be waiting here, and feel free to talk about your loved ones about this question. And you can pause the video in 3, 2, 1, now. This has been Family Time with the Claretian Youth. We cannot wait to see you guys for our last celebration of this school year, which will be June 15th at 6 p.m. Don't forget to wear your Christmas clothes. My gosh, I don't know if we're gonna be inside or out, but I promise that we will be having fun, and we will be closing this first phase of Claretian Youth. To the parents, be on the lookout. We're going to send an email with a link for a Zoom meeting of all of us. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for being part of the Claretian Youth, and pray to St. Anthony Claret, pray to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, use your prayer cards that you have, especially for a rainy day. Just pull one of them out, and know that all this happens because of you. God has so much love for you that has created all these beautiful reminders that no matter what happens, God will never love you any less. This is Father Byron, and this has been Family Time with the Claretian Youth. Ciao!